it's good to be back, albeit in this weird sort of virtual world that we live in. We're on about a 1-year anniversary of the purgatory of virtual world. But as everyone has been saying today, let's hope very soon that we're getting back into something a bit more face-to-face. I think over the course of this year, everyone's priorities and life perspective has probably changed a little bit, not in the first instance, but I think by now it probably has. And we've all sort of looking back now, thinking, well, what do we want from the future and from particularly the sports world? We're all very adept with screen and screen technology, possibly a little bit too adept and a little bit too reliant on it now. And I think that's going to stay with us. And I think that sort of reliance on having the screen to hand is even more going to play into the way we need to design our venues and think about our venues. We've all upskilled quite a lot. There's no doubt, of course, that all of our clients and the venues and the stadiums have suffered financially. No home crowd, of course, has been a bit of disaster for many. And of course, there is all the related food and beverage and merchandise spending as well. I mean, who buys the new club shirt or merchandise? Who's even going to drop in to a mega store when there's no games? So things need to get back, of course, very quickly. The home crowd advantage, disastrous, of course, for many clubs. Some clubs play brilliantly without the home crowd. Some have really suffered. Who could have predicted Liverpool's streak of home failures? I mean, just unthinkable. So there's a real craving to get back to some sense of reality in our sport. But I think it is a reality check for everybody. We've had time to reflect this last year, and the clubs have had time to reflect on their offers and the fans and what they want. Most fans, of course, will just be delighted to get back to anything, but some may return with maybe a jaded eye, as you do when you return to a building maybe a year without going there. You see it with a new eye, a new perspective. And maybe the offer in changed circumstances, maybe with less finances from your own personal side, might feel not quite the value it used to be, and you might look at it with a different eye. So there has been time to reflect, certainly. And in stadium design, for us, of course, we're looking 2 years ahead for a major refurbishment or 5 years ahead for a new stadium design. So for us, we're not really thinking about a COVID world at all. We're thinking about a business case and a return on investment model in stadiums, which is totally predicated on an absolutely full, raucous, passionate stadium environment. I mean, that's what everybody wants, it's what the fans want, and it's absolutely what the media wants. We want venues. We may not be able to affect the quality of what's happening on the pitch or the outcome, but we certainly should be able to deliver to every single fan the best possible experience, pre-game, halftime break, and post-game. So what will change? I think we're going to have changes now in our stadium design physically. I think we're going to have a very different digital and technological overlay than we had before. It's a media-driven venue, without a doubt. And hopefully, as Jade's been saying, we have a much greater focus on sustainability going forward.